The hull of ancient warfare at the Galactic Military Academy gleamed beneath artificial starlight. Crystalline walls refracted soft hues across floating displays of weapons from 1,000 civilizations, each preserved exactly as it had been used in its era of glory. Blades, axes, spears, and exotic armaments hovered in silent reverence, relics of wars fought long before plasma cannons and kinetic barrages defined battle. Instructor Velair stood at the center of the chamber, a towering Craxian with 4 powerful arms and scales that shimmered like oil on water. His voice carried authority as he addressed the cadets of the Unified Galactic Defense Force. They came from across known space, Zephyrians with translucent skin, massive Torvanites shaped like living stone, graceful aliens who seemed to glide rather than walk, and one human. Lieutenant Marcus Peterson stood near the back. Velair gestured proudly toward the displays. These weapons, he explained, represented 10,000 years of martial excellence, tools wielded by the finest warriors before advanced technology replaced steel and muscle. He lifted the first piece, a Zephyrian phase blade, curved and elegant, its edge impossibly sharp even after millennia. Its molecular alignment allowed it to slip through armor without losing structural integrity. A Bronze Age masterpiece. The Zephyrian cadet straightened as murmurs of admiration rippled through the hall. Next came the Torvanite war cleaver, massive and brutal, forged under crushing gravity wells. Velair spoke of its ability to split starship hull plating in atmosphere. The Torvanite cadets nodded with pride. Finally, Velair presented the Craxian honor blade. His voice softened with reverence as he described its lineage, passed down through generations, studied by countless species, considered perfectly balanced by every known metric. Then a calm human voice cut through the admiration. Why are they balanced wrong? The room froze. Every head turned toward Marcus Peterson, who had spoken as casually as if commenting on the lighting. Velair's scales rippled, a sign of confusion among his species. Marcus stepped forward, unassuming in size but carrying a presence that felt tightly coiled, controlled. He clarified his meaning: the weapons were balanced correctly for display or ritual, but wrong for real combat. A Zephyrian cadet laughed openly. How could a human question weapons that had won wars before his species discovered fire? Marcus didn't react. That's exactly why I'm questioning them, he replied. And just like that, the hull of ancient warfare went silent. Velair hesitated before handing Marcus the Craxian honor blade. It was flawless, razor sharp, perfectly preserved, wrapped in ancient leather from a long-extinct beast. Marcus accepted it respectfully, his fingers adjusting instinctively along the grip. Within seconds, his expression changed. The center of mass is too far forward, Marcus said calmly. You'd fatigue quickly in extended combat. He tested the guard, rotating his wrist slightly. It's ceremonial, he continued. It would catch on armor and slow recovery between strikes. Velair stiffened. The blade had belonged to Champion Korth, undefeated across 40 cycles of combat. Marcus asked a single question. How long were those duels? After a pause, Velair admitted the truth. Minutes. That answer reframed everything. Marcus returned the blade gently and walked the length of the hall, studying each weapon with growing certainty. They were beautiful. Precise. Deadly in controlled encounters. But they weren't tools of sustained warfare. These are dueling weapons, Marcus said. Designed for honor, not survival. Valish, the Zephyrian cadet, bristled. Humanity had barely 2 centuries in space. Other civilizations had 10,000 years of recorded martial history. Marcus turned to face the class. Humans have been killing each other for our entire existence. He spoke of stone tools, bronze blades, iron weapons, and gunpowder. Of wars that demanded endurance, efficiency, and adaptability over ritual or honor. War isn't about honor, Marcus said evenly. It's about surviving long enough to fight again. He projected images into the air, human longswords balanced at the guard, designed for hours of combat. Katanas refined through centuries for lethal efficiency. Viking axes, Roman gladii, Zulu ikawa. Every weapon shared one truth: they were born from cultures locked in constant warfare. If your weapon couldn't keep you alive through days of fighting, Marcus continued, you didn't live to pass on your techniques. The hall was completely silent. Marcus let the silence settle before continuing. Your civilizations reached space during peace, he said. You evolved past primitive warfare before advanced technology. It wasn't an accusation. It was admiration. Your weapons became ceremonial because you no longer needed them. Then his tone shifted. Humans didn't. Humanity carried its violence forward, refining it with every era. An unbroken chain of warfare stretching back 10,000 years, or more. Humans never stopped fighting. They only improved how efficiently it could be done. When the Zeresh invasion struck the outer colonies, humans didn't hesitate, not because they were superior, but because they had been preparing for war since before recorded history. These weapons, Marcus gestured toward the hall, belonged to civilizations that found peace. What humanity brings is continuous martial evolution. Several cadets shifted uneasily. The implication was clear. That's why my species is valuable in this war, Marcus said quietly. And why you should watch us when it's over. Humans never stopped being primitives with sharp objects. They simply learned to attach engines, targeting systems, and fusion drives to them. Velayer studied Marcus for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice carried new gravity. Simulation deck. Tomorrow. 0600 hours. Bring your human blades. The challenge was undeniable. As the cadets filed out, Valish approached Marcus, his earlier arrogance replaced by thoughtfulness. You weren't bragging, the Zephyrian said. You were warning us. Marcus looked back at the suspended weapons one final time. Yes. Valish whistled softly, a sign of understanding. We're glad you're on our side. So am I, Marcus replied. He left the hall of ancient warfare behind, but its lesson lingered. The weapons remained beautiful, ceremonial, perfectly balanced, and wrong for real war. Humanity's contribution to the galaxy was darker. Heavier. Forged through 10,000 years of blood, failure, adaptation, and survival. And when the Zeresh came, that darkness might be exactly what the light needed to survive.